You know, when I finished college the first time around, I thought to myself, I'll never go back to school and I would never have to leave as a student again. But I found myself back in school. And what that does and what that has helped me is put me back into a college student's mindset whereby it was all about maximizing how much I can spend on a budget. But being an adult and being somebody who's already gone through life and who has to take care of himself now, what that has done is it's opened up my mind to how much I was spending a lot of money on unnecessary things. Right now because I'm in school, my income is pretty low, so I have to stretch out each dollar every month in order to cover my costs and bills. In today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you some ways that I've learned and that I've adjusted that have allowed me to start saving on money. I'm not going to say these methods will help you have more, but what these methods have helped me is spend less, and when you spend less, it means you have more money, that you can save or to cover different bills that, you'll be suffering from. So without further ado, let's get into it. So the first thing that I did when I went back to school, my school is located downtown Vancouver. And if you don't know anything about Vancouver, it's one of the most expensive cities that I've ever been into. So parking downtown costs like $20 for a day. If you're doing that and you're in school almost, let's say, 20 days out of the month, you're spending, 20 times 20 times 20 essentially, which is like $400 that you're spending on parking alone. In order to do that, what I've done for that is I've started using public transport. So anytime that I go downtown, I just get on public transport. It costs $250, $2.50 to go downtown and back, which is $5 a day. So if you're spending that, instead of spending $400, I get to spend $100 a month, saving $300 just by taking the train to school and back. It saves me a lot of money that way that would have been going into parking. However, the challenge that then comes with that is I have a car that has car payments that I have to pay insurance for, and I don't really get to save as much. But where also I get to save is on gas, so I don't really spend the amount of gas that I used to spend when I was just working on it. So, but then also those are some of the little benefits that come with it. The second thing that I would speak about is cutting off debt. Being in debt, because I run a business, because I had to invest a lot into my business, I've incurred a lot of debt that I still have to pay off. I feel like a best way to save your money is to cut off high interest debts that you may have, because those monthly things that they charge you every month, like especially when you start failing to pay it off, it adds up, man. Like it adds up real quick. One month you owe them $10. The next month it comes back like, yeah, your minimum is 40. Your minimum is 100. Before you know it, it's at a level that you can't really afford it. So I would say that cutting off debt is something that's beneficial if possible. Buy only what you need. One thing that I like about these days and the mode that I'm in, the mindset that I'm in is I've just been spending my money on things that are necessary for me. Like I'm not spending it on things that are frivolous. Like there were times where I'll be like, it's a weekend, I need to have some alcohol, I need to have some ice cream just to, celebrate life and stuff like that. But because now I have to stretch every dollar, I've just been purchasing things that are necessary. I need this, I need this, I need this to survive, and then that's it. And you end up, my grocery bill used to be like $200. Now it's gone down to almost like $100, and I'm like, oh, nice. And that's including the inflation. And you spend less. Like there's a time, man, like you'd step into a store and you're spending $100 per trip. You're like, whoa, if I'm in this place like 3-4 times a week, I'm spending $400 on groceries alone that I don't even have an idea what I'm buying and where it's going. The other critical thing is stop spending money on monthly subscriptions. Like if I could avoid having a monthly subscription in my life, I would. These things, they're so tiny, but they just cause a lot of anxiety and stress that's unnecessary. I hate car payments. I hate having to pay insurance every month. I just hate like the idea that there's someone who's constantly expecting to take money from you month to month. And if there was a way that I didn't have to pay month to month, I would take it, man. Like I can't stand it anymore. Like I just don't want to be paying anything month to month. Like if there's a way to stop monthly subscriptions, please stop, because those things are just ridiculous. Another critical thing that I've learned is track everything. Track every dollar that you're spending, track every dollar that you're earning. That just helps you understand where your money is going, and you have an idea of how you're saving, how are you spending your money. Is it worth it? Like, what can you do? How can you improve, Um, the other thing that just being a student is, wherever you can get anything free, get it. Like, don't play games. Like, we're in inflation right now. The less we have to spend, the better. If you can get free items, free clothing, free food, free anything, just get it. It helps you cut your costs, and it helps you move forward. Like, you don't want to be that person who's constantly like, oh, I want to get it for free so that I don't, like, you want to abuse the system or something like that. But like, whereby you get to work, like in the film industry, if you work in film, there's catering, there's free food on set. That's part of our of the code of what we do, right? So I would say in those instances, get it whilst you can. The other thing is, these stores, these supermarkets, they constantly have these sales that they have on. Always be on the lookout, because sometimes you get things that you really need, things that you use on a week-to-week basis at a very cheap price. I know that at some point there's this products that I buy, and it's like $26, and they were running a discount on it at 99 cents. Then you're like, oh, I was still going to spend $26, but now that means I can get more, and that covers me when that discount goes. And that's something that I've learned. I know that most of these tips are things that you probably know, and that's the other thing that I've learned is, like, advice is the same, man. You just have to apply it. You just have to be retold these things and just do it. Cut your costs. I know that the best way to make more money is to earn more, but also cutting your costs is something that's massive in creating generational wealth and in just surviving this year and making it to the next, right? Which is what we're mostly trying to do. With that said, man, I'll see you guys in the next